Okay, good morning and welcome to the Perry Wellington Realty and Circuit Mortgage podcast and Google Plus video cast this morning. We This is October 31st. It's Halloween, and I'm not dressed for Halloween in a special. Of course, if you watch our TV program on WTAJ, local CBS affiliate, you'll be able to see us get ready for some Halloween here this evening. In any case, this is Perry Wellington and Circuit Mortgage Show. We are located in our main office, corporate Pennsylvania, and we also have an office in Largo, Florida, and offices. This show is geared towards explaining real estate topics, and we're here to help educate the folks that are interested in real estate and to learn more. So this particular episode is going to be focused on saving money and focusing on saving money the right ways in a real estate transaction. I'll tell you what prompted this thought. It was actually very topical today. I read an article. Was reading through some articles, and I read an article about Donnie Deutsch not actually fighting a case to not pay real estate commission. So want to talk about that and want to talk a little bit about some other ways you can save money in a real estate transaction. So again, just a reminder, this is the Perry Wellington Realty Show. This is information only. It's not legal advice. For that, you need to see an attorney. It's not tax advice. For that, you need to see your CPA. So there's my disclaimers. This is just an explainer, help you buying and selling real estate. Even if you're not in the market now, you may be soon, or you may know somebody to give them some tips and some help. Full of functions that we do. That WRTA show is on iTunes Radio, so you can listen to it from listen to it in Florida. Even though they're not even near our Florida. And again, you're going to pick up some tips. We also have a TV show Fridays at 4:30 normal. Actually, that have been an hour long. But we're back to a 4:30 show this week, and a little Halloween spooktacular show. And I know a lot of folks overuse the spooktacular term. In any case, want to get to the real topic today. I'm going to keep these a little shorter. I was doing these for about half an hour in the spring, and then at least as the business got busier, the weather's getting colder out, and I'm inside, and I figure might as well get back on and do some podcasts. So Deutsch, let's talk about this article with Donnie Deutsch, actually sued by his real estate agent. Pretty crazy when you think about that. You get sued by a real estate agent because you don't want to pay commission. And so just a little article here. I'll bring this up. I was reading, and the judge rules NBC host Donnie Deutsch skipped out on $1.2 million commission. And this is actually courtesy of Inman.com. So the article reads, just because MSNBC host Donnie Deutsch already knew the buyer, a real estate broker brought to the sale of his $30 million Hamptons home, doesn't mean he can skip out on the $1.2 million commission the broker claims he's owed. A Manhattan judge ruled. The article goes on to say that Deutsch's refusal to acknowledge national realty broker Edward Petrie's deal are marks of dishonesty and greed, quote unquote. October 23rd decision, the New York Post reports. Attorneys for Deutsch said he never got a commission claimed by Petrie and will appeal the decision. So the reason I wanted to talk about this morning was because, here's an example, a couple of examples. I think this illustrates a couple of things. One is, if you thought 6% was a required or a fixed commission, there you have it. Now, admittedly, that's a $1.2 million home. 4% represents $1.2 million. That's just a chunk. Boy, is that a chunk of money. So as a real estate broker, I'm not surprised that they went after the commission. So think about that for a second. 4%. So this notion that real estate commission is fixed at something like 6% or 7% level, something like that, actually is not true. So just keep that in mind when you're out there negotiating your commissions. Actually, I took a call on the radio show yesterday where a caller actually had called in, and it was the exact opposite. It was a very inexpensive property that the caller had listed on the market, and the agent had actually charged a minimum commitment. The consumer was concerned because till they paid the commission, $10,000. So that was set by the agent. The caller was that was how you're so in any case, all commissions are law. Caveat to that, the broker is allowed to set the commission for their office. So, when you talk to an agent within an office and they say, well, our policy is that they charge a certain amount, is allowed to be set on a per broker level. And the broker's allowed to tell their agents, look, this is what we charge. You're, of course, welcome to pick a different broker. And remember that Perry Wellington has a 4.5% commission that we charge. That's what we advertise. And we have a lot of folks that are very eager to pick up that commission rate. There's some other pieces of that commission rate, and that's how we share it. Generally, if not all the time, we share 50% of it or more with the other side, the person or the agent or the broker that's bringing the buyer. And I think that's really the key ingredient there, is that we're actually making sure, we're contributing a good portion of that, at least 50% over to the other side. Okay. So Donnie Deutsch item is what brings me to this. I think a great way to save money in real estate is to get a great commission rate right off the bat. But people overlook action. I've talked many, many times about the other fees that come into play that just get tacked on in real estate, and they're easy to spot. Sometimes you're trained to real estate professional. They're easy to spot in dollars or 70-inch flat screen TV. It's a new piece of furniture, or a couple of major appliances. So those things really add up. And so those are things to focus on. But, interestingly, I was talking with somebody yesterday about a mortgage transaction, and for a client that was actually simultaneously closing on the sale of their home, and they're buying a home. And one of the things that came up was the discussion about wiring the money. And the title company that was closing, or the attorney that was closing the deal, said, that's going to cost, $20 or $25 to do a wire. And client says, nah, I'm not going to have you do that. I'll just just get a cashier's check or whatever. And I get that. I mean, $20 is $20. No question. Same client's paying as the broker that listed is, and they're talking about $20 that they can easily see, but the 6%, they didn't negotiate, so they're paying 6%. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at this. And that's what the Donnie Deutsch thing reminded me of, was that everything's negotiable. Certainly negotiate on the big items, and the other thing is the job that gets done. That for some reason Donnie Deutsch feels like he shouldn't have to pay the commission. I don't know the whole circumstance, but if you've agreed to pay the commission, and in many, many circumstances, people that are eager to avoid, and I get that it's money, but if some generally and ethically to pay up and pay the pay the agent, pay the realtor, pay the broker. I think that's an important piece. I mean, we work, a lot of folks don't realize, and, I know no one's going to, bring out a violin and start playing it right now. But we actually work, most of us work completely on a contingent basis. And what that means is, we don't get paid a salary or get paid for punching in the morning. We get paid successful transaction. And so we get paid. So we do all this work. It's important that we share in the success of the seller and the buyer in closing that transaction. So it's payday. So that was one of the other things I want to talk about in the show this morning. So, what are some other things in the real estate transaction you want to keep an eye on? Agents, one of the big advantages of working with a real estate agent is that they have a group of people that they work with that are they don't people. I mean, when I say the team, I'm talking about a cadre of inspectors, mortgage people, title people, really just a group of folks. Obviously appraiser isn't one of them because we don't get to pick the appraiser. But around a transaction, a closing company or attorney, contractor that actually has a group of these people lined up that they know and trust they can get the job done. But it's just commended them doesn't mean you. Certainly, when it comes to things like and just a side note on mortgages, everybody knows to check for the rate. Okay, we get that. But what a lot of folks know, what a lot of folks in the mortgage business, and I don't want anybody start whipping rocks at me for saying this, but a lot of folks in the mortgage industry realize that the clients are searching for the rate, and as a result, they quote low rates, but the clients don't focus on. And admittedly, all this is disclosed, but the clients often don't focus on how much money am I going to have to bring to closing. So we can get you a lower rate, but you're going to have to bring more to closing in a lot of cases when it comes to mortgages. So if you're just shopping interest rate, it's important your total all-in expense, not just for the rate, but to close the deal. So pay close attention to the money you're bringing to closing, because that's going to be for the mortgage. Other things you need to shop. Why do I say shop the title? You may get a lot of mortgage companies just if you don't have a preference, we'll just send it over to take a moment and look at the fee structure to make sure that the folks we recommend have aggressive costs out of each part of the transaction. You look at title, when you look at the same time, we want to absolute best deal. What that means is talk through fees and other fees get addicts, and I've made that very clear to the folks that we recommend that we want the best absolute deal for title. So there's a couple of areas: mortgage, just shop total fees, look at all the fees, compare. You should be able to you'll get a good faith. So take that information and take it side by side with other lenders. Yes, I realize it takes a little extra time. This is real money, folks, that can save you money. So mortgage, title, what else? What about inspections? You would think that something simple like inspections should be pretty standard across the board. Just because the agent recommended an inspector, I would make sure that the agent, and the agents aren't required, by the way, to give you a list. They give you one. That's fine. Again, agents and brokers are not anything in a $25 gift card from allowed to take a $25 gift card as a thank you from an inspector because I gave them a referral. So the way it is, I want an inspector that does a good job at a good price for my clients and doesn't miss anything. So from the client standpoint, take that recommendation from the agent, get one or two more, drop them, call, ask what their availability is. That's a big thing with inspectors when they're busy. Find out the breadth of their service. Some inspectors offer a warranty or a couple of things there with inspectors. There are lots of folks involved in real estate transactions that want this business. And, again, one of the things that agents bring to the table is this team approach to, these are the team members that I use. A person that I trust and rely on. I've got a inspect, closing company or attorney, and rely. No means do you have to use any of those folks. Just because they recommend them doesn't mean anything in terms of you being required to use them. So again, places to save some money. There's some of these are small fees. Some of them can be much larger. A more expensive mortgage could cost you over the term. And certainly paying too much for commission or paying a higher commission rate, given the way the market works today, we put the houses on the MLS, multiple listing service, like we advertise them in a couple of different mediums in many cases. Certainly a lot of clients are coming through the internet. So they're looking at Trulia, they're looking at Zillow, looking at realtor.com, ZTR, as we like to call it. So coming from these sources, it's very important that you get your house exposed to the maximum amount of people, good pictures, good video, things that help get it sold. And these days, what you find is, the brokers like Perry Wellington have done everything we can to shave costs out of the experience. What that means to you, the consumer, is ways to save money. You can get that great commission rate and still get the successful sale. Good negotiation, good leadership from the brokerage, experience, all of the things you need in order to be successful in your real estate are available at Perry Wellington without paying 6 or 7%. So that's my message for this. A little bit to that Donnie Deutsch goal. I think that if you're old, you should be happy to. Here for today, remember, you can .com. You can call us at 814-695-5323 at our main office number. And if you can always call that number, get an agent. When you call that number, by the way, you get a live agent. And if you need a mortgage, reverse mortgage, again, get a hold of us at Circuit Mortgage at 816. This is Adam, owner of Perry Wellington Realty. Have a great weekend. A safe Halloween.